I read in a scripture that a borrower is always the slave of a lender. And it is often true that whenever you are owing someone, there's a kind of feeling you get, you're always down, your mind is always there. And it can become overwhelming. And most times, the reason why people hold debt is not because they do not have a consistent flow of income. They are probably working somewhere a 9 to 5 or have a business of their own that they are doing. But despite all of that, we still find a lot of people owing debt from time to time, and it can really be sad. Well, it's time to break that chain off your shoulder. Follow me closely, because in this video I am going to be sharing with you strategies that actually work, that you can use to break off that chain of debt off your neck. I once knew of a girl that was constantly paying debt with her salary. Once she receives her salary, she uses the money to pay off debt, and then the cycles go on and on. She's always borrowing just to fend for herself, and then when she receives her salary, she's paying back with her salary, and most times she's left with nothing and she has to borrow money again, and the cycle keeps going on and on and on. For instance, when I went to get some groceries last month, it wasn't as expensive as it is now, because prices of things keep changing from time to time. Factors like this make paying debt quite challenging, but it is definitely possible. So without further ado, let me show you strategies to help you pay debt off faster. Number one, understanding your debts. Now, before we go fully into the strategies, let's take a moment to understand our debts. Now, the thing is that before you start paying any debt at all, you need to sit down and understand and assess how much you're owing, just to know how critical the situation is, just to know how long you have to pay the debt, just to know how much interest we keep compiling. If you fail to pay the debt, you need to sit down and take some moment to understand how critical the situation is. And guess what? This actually helps you to get rid of that overwhelming feeling from the reality that you're actually owing debt, because you're very clear exactly what you're owing. And this way, you can start developing strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you in order for you to start paying off the debt. You know, most times, a lot of people are very much aware that they are owing debts, that they are owing this number of persons, they are owing this loan app or whatever it is. But the first thing you need to do is to write down the number of persons you're owing, and of course the amount you're owing each person. And this is very powerful because it gives you a clearer picture of what you are up against. Knowing the total amounts owed and the interest rates will help you prioritize your payoff plan. Number two, create a budget. I know you probably have heard of financial planning, goal setting, and all of that. But one thing I found out is that people don't often talk about debt management. And this is one of the most important things you must know as a person. Debt management strategy actually help you to create a list of all the amounts you're owing and all your streams of income. Now, when I say your stream of income, is where you are sure that money is going to come in from. Not that, okay, an uncle promised you money and auntie promised to give you a land or anything like that. That is not part of your debt management strategy. You need to ensure that wherever money is coming in from, it is very sure, not that somebody promised you money. Because most time, people tend to fail to fulfill their part of a promise. So don't rely on anyone when it comes to your debt payment strategy. The first thing first, pick a pen. Write down the number of persons you're owing, and on the second column, write down your sure stream of income channel. And then on the third column, you are going to write down your expenses. How much goes out? You know, what are the most important things you need to get probably every month or every week? Just write down your expenses. Probably you need to get food, you need to get water, you need to pay electricity bill. You know, all of those bills that you know that you have to pay. So the first column, like I said, is going to contain the list of people that you're owing. And then the second column is going to contain your income channel. And then the third column is going to contain your expenses. These are your needs and not your wants. That means there are things that you cannot do without. Your budget should be such that it's practical and can be worked with. Now, like I said, your expenses side of the column is one of the most important parts. Ensure that you prioritize your needs above your wants and allocate as much as you can towards your debt payment. It is never enough to create a budget. What actually works is you sticking to your budget. Moving on, the third strategies on my sleeve is the debt snowboard method. I'm quite aware that many of you might not know what this method is, but I can assure you it's one of the most effective methods when it comes to debt payments. And I'll take my time to explain, so follow me. When confronted with debt, the responses of most people is to tackle everything head on. They want to pay everything at once and just get it off their neck. Why that is good, you need to understand that it will lead to more debt. Let me give an example to buttress my point. Let's say Mr. A receives a salary of about $80 on a monthly basis, and he has a monthly expenses of about $60. I'm talking about the needs, the things that he needs to get every month just for him to survive and of course be a person. Now Mr. A is owing Mr. B $50. If he tackles the debt head on, he will be left with just $30 because he has used $50 out of his $80 salary to clear off a debt of $50. So he's left with just $30. Now, of course, Mr. A needs at least $60 to care for himself on a monthly basis. But he's left with just $30 after paying Mr. A debt of $50 out of his $80 salary. And $30 can't pay his bill in a month. So Mr. A goes ahead and went to borrow an extra $30 and added to the remaining $30 he has with him so that he can have enough to fend for himself through the month. At the end of the day, he paid his debt and he still ended up with debt and he's not financially free. So here is where the debt snowboard method comes in. This is a strategy that allows you to first pay off the smallest debt while making minimum payments for others. If you don't get that, let me throw more light. Let's say you are owing Mr. A $20 and you are owing Mr. B $40 and you are owing Mr. C probably $50. The wisdom behind the debt snowboard method is that you first pay off the Mr. A $20 and then pay off probably $10 out of Mr. B's money, and then pay off another $10 out of Mr. C money. While you still have enough for your own expenses, like you don't have to touch your expenses. You just pay off the smallest one and then pay off just a minimum amount from others that you're owing. You don't have to tackle everything head on. With consistency in this approach, you realize that you're able to pay off your debts without feeling overwhelmed, but you'll be able to pay everything off in time and with ease. And you'll be totally debt-free. The fourth strategy I'll be talking about is the debt avalanche strategy. Just in case the debt snowboard method does not work for you, this is definitely something that should work for you. In debt avalanche strategy, you tend to prioritize your debt based on interest rates. This is to pay the debt with the highest number of interest first, so that you are going to minimize the total amount of interest to be paying at the end. There are some loans that the interest on it keeps increasing day by day. That means the longer it takes for you to pay the debts, the bulkier the interest become. In such a scenario, the rational thing for you to do is first to pay the debt with the highest amount of interest, because it will be in your favor that you don't have your interest compiling and increasing every single day. This method will actually save you a lot of money in the long run, especially in a country like ours that interest rates keeps increasing every day and the value of our currency is depreciating. The fifth strategy is actually one of my favorites, and it's probably one of the most effective, which is to get extra income or side hustle. This is actually a very sure way to boost your debt payoff journey. No one scale a highly remarkable height by depending on just one stream of income. Learn to widen your horizon. Cast your bread. There are 1,001 things you can do as an individual, many of which I even share on this channel, that you can do to create an extra stream of income for yourself. What better way is there for you to pay off your debts when the money you are using is coming from an extra stream of income? I think that's beautiful. That will mean paying off the debts without even feeling it in the slightest. Even at the beginning, you won't even feel overwhelmed. You can consider going into digital marketing, crypto trading, selling items you no longer need, so many side hustle, writing and all of that you can try so that you can create extra stream of income for yourself. You must not forget that every extra penny earned makes a difference. The last strategy I'll be talking about is staying committed and motivated. After all I've mentioned and shared with you today, what will actually work is you remaining committed and motivated in your journey of paying off your debts. Taking time and taking steps every day to work towards your financial freedom. Now, I know that it might look difficult and almost impossible to go ahead with a payment plan, but just make sure that you discipline yourself and you stick to your budget. Whenever you feel tired and overwhelmed and you're unmotivated and you don't just want to continue, just envision yourself in your debt-free state. You are not owing anyone, you are just okay traveling the world, and let it encourage you to stay consistent. And that's it. Now, I understand how trapped a person can be when you're owing debts. You can't feel yourself, you can't do what you want to do because you're like, this person is watching you and all of that. That season is about to be over if you ensure to follow through with this strategy. Problems never go away if you avoid them, they only get bigger. Brace yourself, face your debts head on, and enjoy your financial freedom. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. If you enjoy it, please don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to like and share this video so that I can help the algorithm of the video. I'm Toby, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.